I'm usually not one to hype up popular movies. My channel hasn't even been around that long, and you guys probably already know that I'm the asshole who shits on the most popular movies that everyone likes. But I loved Avengers Infinity War. It's not a perfect movie by any means. It's messy as hell. It feels jumpy and somewhat incohesive. Some things happen too fast, and we don't get to spend that much time with any one character. However, I can't really complain much because this movie met all my hopes and dreams for what this movie could be. For what the Russo brothers tried to pull off, I think they did a great job. It was the darkest, most violent, and tragic MCU movie to date, and I loved that. But honestly, I wasn't even hyped for Infinity War for a long time. I was looking forward to it, sure, but I wasn't antsy about it. However, something was different about this movie for me. I avoided most reviews and opinions on the movie, not just to avoid spoilers, though that was a factor, but because I knew this movie was going to be very different for me, though I'm not sure I was entirely aware of the personal experience that awaited me. Because watching this movie, I teared up a little. And not necessarily because of the things happening on screen, though those moments were sad as well, but because I realized how much this movie meant to me. When I was a kid, I lived and breathed superheroes. I knew all about the lore, and I even knew about characters like Iron Man and Ant-Man before they had their own movies and became popular. I still even have an Iron Man toy from 2006 before the movie came out. I still have this big book on superheroes, which at this point is pretty dated, but at the time, it was a comprehensive encyclopedia on every known comic book hero and villain, and I read it religiously. These superhero characters meant the world to me. The first movie I remember seeing was Spider-Man in 2002. Spider-Man was always my hero. I looked up to him so much because he was just a regular guy with regular struggles. But he wasn't the only one. I loved the X-Men, the Hulk, and pretty much every other superhero that I had toys of. These guys gave me inspiring figures to look up to, and gave me fuel for my imagination as I played in my room in the backyard with my action figures, dreaming up grand, cosmos-ending adventures for them to go on. My life pretty much revolved around superhero movies. I was there to see every one of them as a kid. That wasn't rated R anyway. I was 11 years old when I saw the first Iron Man in theaters. Not only was it an amazing movie for me at the time, I was excited as hell because when I bought it on DVD, I realized that there was a scene after the credits where Nick Fury showed up. When Nick Fury said,
Mr. Stark, you become part of a bigger universe. You just don't know it yet.
I went ballistic. I couldn't believe they were actually teasing an Avengers movie. But even then, I was doubtful. There had been movies before that didn't get proper sequels, and franchise plans that fell through. Bringing the Avengers together was an immense task that I didn't think was possible, even if they did tease it. Then, it happened right in front of my eyes. All the characters that I had read about but never thought would get their own movies were brought to life before my eyes. Thor, Captain America, Hawkeye, Black Widow all appeared in movies, and before I knew it, the Avengers movie came out. I saw the Avengers in theaters 3 times that summer. I was a lot older by then, but I still retained the excitement and appreciation I had for superhero movies that I had as a kid. As time went on, we got Marvel movie after Marvel movie, and other companies tried to replicate what Marvel did with their own cinematic universe. And amongst all this, I became cynical. I stopped enjoying superhero movies that much. Of course, I still liked them, and I still watched them. Movies like Logan and Deadpool, I still love, but I didn't feel connected to that childlike wonder and excitement I had for superheroes like I used to. I had grown old and abandoned the fantasies and heroes of my childhood. Then, the day of Infinity War arrived, and I became excited. I couldn't remember the last time I became excited for a Marvel movie, and especially not to the extent I was feeling. Perhaps it was just the anticipation of the crowd getting to me, but it felt genuine. I sat and watched the movie, and that excitement did not go away. I had a blast. I teared up watching this movie because it reminded me of those long summer days in the sandbox with my superhero toys. It reminded me of all the hopes and dreams I had as a kid for all the Marvel movies I thought they'd never make. Infinity War reconnected me with my inner sense of wonder and awe that I had as a child for seeing superheroes come to life in a way I always dreamed of. I tore away the cynicism and reconnected to these characters that I looked up to, grew up with, and dreamed about as a kid. For me, Infinity War was more than just a movie. It was the accumulation of a lifetime, my lifetime. It was as if all of the hopes and dreams of a 10-year-old boy came true in this movie. The hopes and dreams of a boy I didn't think I was anymore. But as I watched all these fantastical characters interacting with each other, all these characters who I grew up with watching and reading about and spending years of my life with over dozens of movies, I realized that this was the movie I always wanted. Marvel achieved something great with the MCU, sure, but for me, it means more than just some long series of movies or a great business strategy for making franchises. Marvel reignited my inner child, my inner superhero fan who can't help but stare in amazement at the magic of movies. They brought together characters that I've come to know so well in a way that affected the 11-year-old boy within me. Infinity War reminded me why I love superheroes. They're immensely creative characters with wild stories. They hold values and ideas that are noble, and they put their lives on the line to save regular people against evil monsters. But more importantly, they're relatable characters with emotions and feelings that you become easily absorbed in. Infinity War made me appreciate my childhood heroes and reminded me of why I should still love them, and why I shouldn't abandon my admiration for them. There will be critics and naysayers that tear the movie apart and declare it a disaster of storytelling, and while some of their critiques will probably be true, it won't matter to me because they'll never be able to take away what this movie did for me and how it affected me. My cynicism will never tarnish or get in the way of the feeling of wonder I felt as my childhood fantasies came to life on screen, and how I was reminded of why I love superheroes. I'm Randall the Vandal. Thanks for watching.